Drive.
TRE, Talk Radio Europe.
You're listening to TRE in the Afternoon with Hannah Murray. Brought to you by the Clubhouse by Sala. Get ready to eat, drink, watch and play at the ultimate sports venue on the coast. Find out more at clubhousemarbella.com. TRE in the Afternoon. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Good afternoon. It's just coming up to 5:10. You are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio today is Georgina Shaw and Katie Rowlands. Hello.
Hello.
It's lovely to have you with us. There was a third, but she thought it was Wednesday. So it's just the two of you. But thankfully, I know you can both talk about things, so we'll be absolutely fine.
We'll take that as the compliment that it is meant.
Please do. Absolutely, please do. If you're listening at home and you'd like to get involved, you can. Here's how.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
What a beautiful day, so wonderful life.
So I found this article today and it made me, smile, but for the wrong reasons. We've had this subject come up before on the show, but I thought I'd mention it because this is a new article and a new situation. A woman has sparked a discussion after refusing to give up her plane seat so a mum could sit next to her 6-year-old daughter during the flight. The nervous passenger explained that she had paid extra for a window seat months ahead of time to help her stay calm during the trip, given her anxiety about flying. However, upon reaching her row, she was surprised to find a mother occupying her window seat with a 6-year-old girl seated next to her in the middle seat. I politely said, "Hey, sorry, but I think that's my seat." She didn't even look up, and then she said, "Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't mind switching. My seat is a few rows back in the middle, but I really want to sit with my daughter." I said, "I'm sorry, I understand that, but I booked this seat on purpose. I have anxiety and really need the window." Then she stood up and snapped, "Unbelievable. Selfish people like you ruin everything. I hope you feel good about making a little girl cry." Her daughter wasn't even crying, just quietly colouring. I said, "I'm not responsible for your poor planning. If it was that important, you should have arranged seats together before the flight." And so it goes on and on. And I've been on a plane and seen this happen as well. There was a similar situation, but it was an older gentleman that said he needed to stretch his leg out. And someone said, "You're in my seat." And he said, "Oh, sorry, I need the aisle seat because I need to stretch my seat." So the other man sort of, took a deep breath and then said, "Okay, no problem, I'll sit there," which I thought was very kind. But I mean, surely the point is, if you need a specific type of seat for whatever reason, pay for it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yes. I agree as well. I mean, yes, it's difficult to be separated from your child, but you either deal with that or you rely on the kindness of strangers, but understanding that it is their kindness if you haven't got yourself organised or, made the seat selection, which you easily can.
Yeah.
Especially if this woman's an anxious flyer, she's got... she's in her rights to say, "No, I want to stay here," I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not being funny, if I was travelling with my 6-year-old child, I mean, I know it's annoying, all these extra charges, more than annoying. It's like they're taking the mick, aren't they? You have to pay extra for this, that, and and what turns out, what seemingly at the beginning is a cheap flight ends up not being a cheap flight. If you've got to pay for your seats, you've got to pay for your luggage and everything else. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So if you're travelling with someone and you need to sit next to them or desperately want to, you kind of have to pay for it. Otherwise, you've got to cope with not being able to sit with them.
And the middle seat's the absolute worst one to have anyway. So why would you agree to that? I suppose if you're a calm, non-anxious flyer and you're kind, like you said, fair enough, you might want to switch. But for this woman's particular case, I understand why she didn't want to.
Yeah. And the fact that she paid extra for it, you know what I mean? It's not even that she hadn't paid extra for it and she wasn't really bothered where she was sitting. She'd paid for, it's just not right. These people so kind of entitled, and as I say, if it meant that much, you buy the seats.
I think that's the word, isn't it? It's sort of entitlement to say, my need is greater than yours, when the fact is, economy travel, you just go along with what is going on. And if you are split up, then that's the way it was. We were recently split up on a flight, and I was like, well, okay, you're fine if you've got everything that you need. Bye. That's really nice.
And I suppose 6 is quite young, but then if this particular 6-year-old is too young to be left on her own, then they should have sorted it out prior to the flight.
Definitely. When my husband and I travelled together, if we're doing a short haul flight to the UK or whatever, we hardly ever pay for seats together.
Nice to have a break from each other.
Well, we just kind of think if there's the opportunity, if the flight isn't full and there's the opportunity to kind of move once we've taken off and sit together, great. But if there isn't, then we'll fine. We'll both be reading. It's only a couple of hours. It's not a big deal.
I think more often than not, you end up being together with the person that you've booked with, but you need to take the chance if you don't book those seats.
Yeah, absolutely. If it was long haul, then 100% I'd pay for it in order to sit together. But short haul, not really bothered. But if you are bothered, you have to pay for it.
Exactly. It's quite simple, isn't it?
It is. It's not difficult. There was an article here, an interesting article talking about exercise and some sort of suggestions and myths and things like that. I thought we could talk about some of them, whether it's something you're aware of or not, or have any anecdotes on the subject. It's talking about walking and different types of walking. Who knew? Apparently, because we all hear about this 10,000 steps, which is something we're supposed to be doing daily. Well, the woman who's written this article has said that it's a bit of a myth, 10,000 steps. 4,000 or even 5,000 steps a day is more than enough.
I am so pleased to hear that, because I have been trying to walk more, and we did this big walk, and I came back, looked at my watch, I was like, how is that only 7,000 steps? This is really hard to do 10,000 steps. I was like, I better take the bins out, and I'll go up and down the stairs 10 times, and I get to 10,000. But it is hard, and then when you can't reach it, it then can put you off.
Yes.
So I was super pleased
Feel like
to
a
read
failure.
that. Yeah, because I thought, okay, well, if you're doing... if you're walking for 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, that obviously is better than doing nothing. So I was pleased to see that.
Absolutely.
I think it's quite outdated, that 10,000 steps mark, especially because certain fitness watches don't even measure step counts anymore. I wear a Whoop fitness watch and it doesn't even think that steps are that important.
Interesting.
Okay. What does it monitor instead?
It monitors things like your stress level, your heart rate variability, your resting heart rate overnight, and also your overall stress can be contributed to mental stress and physical stress throughout the day, and then that will build up how much physical exercise you've done, because if you've had a very mentally tiring day, it sort of suggests you shouldn't do as much physical exercise. And I don't think life should be a one-size-fits approach where you're doing 10,000 steps every day, because you might be having the worst day of your life, and perhaps that's going to be quite a mountain to climb.
Yeah. I do find it fascinating, the whole idea with exercise when you're having a bad day or things are going on mentally, because a lot of the time it's advocated as a really positive thing, but I've always wanted to be one of those people that goes out for a run, and that fixes everything. You see it in films. I've got friends who do it, and I went through a period of doing it and never really enjoyed it. I was just challenging myself to do the half marathon. But, there are people who do it all the time and it clears their head, makes them feel great start to the day. Or if something goes wrong, I'll just go for a run. And I think, how wonderful. But sometimes it's not great for your mental health. Sometimes you just need to have a lie down or something.
Or what they call bed rotting these days.
Bed rotting?
Have you heard of that phrase?
No.
I think it's just a posh phrase for staying at home under a blanket and being a bit smelly.
Bed rotting. Oh no, it sounds
they used to call it a duvet day.
Yes, I prefer that.
But the Gen Zs now call it bed rotting for some reason.
More accurate, to be honest.
Yes.
But no, I mean,
it doesn't sound as appealing, does it? I love a duvet day, but I don't fancy bed rotting. No.
I agree with you with that running thing. I've always wanted to, and I've tried various times, but running just makes me really angry and bored. And so it's completely going against what the real. But I do think going for a walk is something that does clear my head, that I can do on any day, even if you just, especially down by the sea or through the some countryside. And so I think it's nice to see that there are sort of grades of things that you can do depending on how you're feeling, depending on your weight and your fitness and your general health, that are all incrementally better than not doing anything at all.
Absolutely.
And I think the key thing with exercise is you do what makes you happy. I know, Hannah, you really like doing Zumba, for example.
Yeah.
And I myself, I've really got into running this year, but part of that reason is because there's a new Run Club Marbella community, which I joined.
I've seen you doing that. That was great for you. I love sitting at home bed rotting, watching videos of you running.
I'll join you at Zumba.
But it's quite a nice community of people, and it's a free event, and then we often get a free coffee and we go for a dip in the sea now and again.
Oh, nice.
So I think exercise is whatever you want from it, whether you want the community, whether you want to be on your own, competitiveness, nature. It shouldn't all be focused on the rigid 10,000 steps.
No. I actually haven't done Zumba for quite a while.
Have you not?
No. I've really got into body combat.
Wow.
And I feel like I could take on the world afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's that empowering. On Tuesday mornings it is, and I punch the air so much that I feel like my arms are going to drop off.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. It's punching and kicking, but nobody else, just the air. But, you see people that are, not putting much effort in and are just doing the movements, and others like me are really punching the air, and you can feel it in your arms.
It's good class.
Oh, I really, really love that.
That's good. You found something you like so much. What's happened to Zumba, though?
Oh, it's complicated. I'll tell you in the break.
That's an off-air relationship
comment. It's an off-air comment. So I think, it's always the same thing, isn't it? Finding something that you enjoy.
And a routine that works for you, I think, because I was completely off the exercise kind of bandwagon and missing it. And so this week I've started to go back to it. And I'm like, as long as I can keep a routine that's not too excessive, so then I'll sort of drop off the wagon, which is my tendency. I think that then you can say, okay, I know I can fit this in with my lifestyle, but if I can't for whatever reason, I'm not going to beat myself up.
No.
I'm just going to say that I want to incorporate physical activity into my lifestyle as much as possible. And then that's a more balanced, kind of healthier way to go at it, I think.
It's interesting, isn't it, how different we all are and people are, and how for some people, and I think you're one of them, physical activity is just a part of your day. It's as normal as brushing your teeth. It's not, I need to make some time like you or I would think. It's just something that you do, and it's amazing. It's great. It's great if you can be like that, so you don't need to think about it. It's like, what shall I wear today? Oh, well, I'll wear this because I'm going for a run and I'm doing this. And
I think Spain makes it quite easy as well with the nice weather, although not in 2025 with the amount of rain we've had.
It's been terrible.
I've had a lot more bed rotting days in the month of March. And apparently Britain's been the driest since 1910, I read somewhere.
God.
In March.
They'll get it. They'll get it soon. We know that.
Yes. We just need to stay in Spain, and now we've got the summer for the next 4 months.
Oh, definitely. It feels like it's arrived, doesn't it? Yay. We better take a break.
Talk Radio Europe.
Do you have car insurance with Linea Directa?
Yes.
Do you have lots of friends?
Yes, I hope so.
Would you like to earn some extra cash?
You betcha.
If you answered yes to all 3 questions, then you're in luck. Because every time you bring a new car or home insurance customer to Linea Directa, we'll give you €30. Oh, and we'll give €30 to every person you recommend, too. For more information, call Linea Directa on 919 181 130. Conditions apply.
Love living on the Costa del Sol, but find your pension is making it hard to enjoy your retirement? Feel financially squeezed? Maybe even thinking about selling up and returning home? Before you make that decision, Castle Rock International Law and Investments might just have the perfect solution. Our unique equity release program for homeowners over 65 enables you to stay in your home whilst giving you financial freedom to live your dream retirement. No proof of income and no monthly payments. Join us at one of our seminars. Book a personal, no-obligation consultation on 670-334-426 or email info@castlerocklawinvestments.com. Visit castlerocklawinvestments.com for more information. Castle Rock International Law and Investments SL is a registered company in Spain and a regulated financial services and insurance brokerage.
Is your car automatic? Transmatic are the automatic gearbox specialists on the Costa del Sol. Since 1990, Transmatic have specialised in the repair and servicing of automatic and manual gearboxes. All makes and models from the earliest classics to the latest hybrids. Transmatic undertake other mechanical work by appointment, all with a 1-year guarantee. So book your car in for a check before it's too late. Also, Delia Car Rental by Transmatic, short and long term. Call today, 952 796 166, or find us online at transmatic.es.
Expats in Spain provide you with all you need to know when living, working, retiring and having the best life you can here in Spain. Join the Expats in Spain Facebook page with over 150,000 other expat members, all there to support you in your new life, whether you're living a life of leisure or starting a new business. Check out our website expatsinspain.eu for recommended companies to do business with or to read our free online monthly magazine. expatsinspain.eu, your one-stop resource for all your expat needs.
Clear, concise, current reporting throughout the day. TRE, your voice in Spain.
You're locked in to TRE in the afternoon with Hannah Murray, sponsored by La Sala Puerto Banús. Join us for the ultimate social and dining experience, featuring live music 7 nights a week. Discover more at lasalabanús.com.
Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio today is Georgina Shaw and Katie Rowlands. There's a few articles I've got that we discussed with the men last week on Men Talk, and I wanted to save them because it's always interesting getting a different perspective. And one of them is talking about the perfect day. Now, this article says we all have our own idea as to what makes the perfect day, but such plans may be redundant as scientists claim to have discovered the formula for the best 24 hours possible. Apparently, the perfect day supposedly includes 6 hours of family time, 2 hours spent with friends, 90 minutes of other socialising. I wasn't quite sure what socialising would be if it's not with friends.
Or family.
Yeah.
Extended circle.
Right, okay. 2 hours exercising and 1 hour eating. And unsurprisingly, it should have no more than 6 hours of work. I find it amazing that in a perfect day, people are working at all, depending on what your job is, of course.
I would agree.
So, yeah, what do you think? Perfect day. Can you try and imagine what it would be?
Well, first for me, it would 2 hours of exercise seems like too many. Well, not too many, but a lot in a perfect day.
Yeah.
And I agree, working, I don't think would feature. I would also need more hours eating than 1 hour.
Same.
Because, if you're having all that socialising time, you're probably going to be eating during that time.
Yeah.
So mine would be lots of social, family, around a table. Probably,
Nice.
and a bit of a stroll. Maybe an hour, let's say, strolling slowly.
Yeah, nice.
Well, I don't think 2 hours is too much to exercise. That's not going to come as any surprise. There's this thing called 75 hard. Have you heard of that before?
No.
That's when you exercise for 75 days and you do 2 slots of 45 minutes of exercise during the day.
Okay.
And my sister's apparently going to start it this week.
Right.
And I think that's quite a hard thing to do.
So not together. You have to do 45 minutes and then somewhere else in the day another 45.
And
Okay.
one of the 45 minutes has to be outside, and then another rule is drinking 2 to 4 litres of water, and another rule is I think reading 10 pages of a book. But going back to the ideal day, I don't think you can categorise an ideal day. Like an ideal day when you're 20 might be very different to when you're 30 or you're 50.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about on air before about work being important for mental health, but perhaps you don't need to do it every day or for 6 hours. So I think it's a bit strange trying to categorise it in an exact manner. I don't think it quite works like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it depends on your relationship status and things like that, whether your perfect day would include a partner or not. And family. And there's so many variables, isn't it?
And also where you are mentally and where you are in your menstrual cycle for the women.
Yes,
It could be be bed rotting.
It could be
depending on where you are in the cycle.
Absolutely.
And that's okay, ladies. That's okay.
That's absolutely fine.
If you're in the absolute middle of your cycle, you should be thriving, not surviving.
Yes,
so
yes.
Definitely not bed rotting then.
No. Bed rotting with some dairy milk sounds...
New phrase here that you've introduced us to, Katie.
Yes,
I'm glad I can be useful.
I'm definitely going to use it. Okay, this is one we talked about last week, which sort of fell a little bit flat with the gentleman, and I thought the ladies for sure will have a bit more to say on this one, I assume, but don't worry if not. It's talking about colours and how colours shape our lives, and whether we're aware of the different types of colours that we might wear on a certain situation. You know, if you were, if you were going out on a date, for example, whether it's a new relationship or with a partner. If you were going out with family, if you were going out with your girlfriends, if you were going for a job interview, all these kind of things, whether you'd pick and choose different colours that you felt were more appropriate than others. It goes into a ridiculous amount of detail in the article that I think doesn't make any sense whatsoever. For example, a gold-hued garment on a first date may mark the beginning of a lifelong relationship. And I thought, well, if I went on a first date with a guy and he was wearing a gold jacket, I don't think there'd be a second date.
Although you do like theatre, so that's not too far out the realm of possibility. Maybe they've just popped off stage.
Yes, okay.
As the lead.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm getting it.
I didn't realise it was sort of
now I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. So, is colour something you think about?
Yes, but not in that respect. I think of it in terms of colour analysis. I think everyone fits into either an autumn, winter or summer or a spring. Have you heard of that before?
No.
Oh, maybe, actually, yes.
So it's different types of complexions suit different colours.
And hair colour
yes.
and eye
so
colour.
Somebody who's blonde and very fair-skinned, they're more of a light summer complexion, whereas someone like myself, I'm more like a winter or autumn. So the light summers would wear paler colours, and that would bring out their features, whereas someone like myself, I would wear more bolder colours. So I don't necessarily agree with wearing certain colours in certain situations, but I think you should wear the colours that suit your complexion, because that will make you feel the happiest and look the best.
And the interesting thing with that is the colour that allegedly doesn't suit anyone's complexion.
What's that?
Black.
Black.
Which is the colour that people wear the most.
I agree with that. Whenever I see people in the gym and 95% of people are wearing black, I think, how boring. Why don't you wear something a bit more exciting? Or maybe I'm a bit judgmental for thinking that. And also, something else I think about on a daily basis with regards to colour is apparently cars have become more homogenous over the recent years, which means that the variety in car colours is not very varied.
No, it's
and
not.
that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
And
I love seeing a pink car or a turquoise car.
And then a family member said to me, but would you buy a lime green car? I said, probably not, but it still makes me sad.
But you're part of the problem,
yes. All the cars out there today are white.
Yeah.
How boring are we?
Yes, we are very
You see, I have to put my hand up in the black camp generally, because I just feel like black is very flattering.
Supposedly.
It's very easy. And what goes better with black but more black, in my view.
Is it hot to wear in the summer?
No, I don't think so. But I am trying to come out of that. And I had realised that I've got quite a lot of red in my wardrobe. And
I love red.
I really love red as well. But I realised, and I hadn't noticed it, when I look back at pictures of myself in like big meetings or events, I very often wear red.
Wow.
And I think it definitely makes me feel stronger,
Powerful.
and fiercer and powerful.
Yeah.
And so I think that while I'll sort of go back to black if I'm, not watching myself, I think colours are really nice. And obviously my subconscious has realised that red makes me feel like, I'm winning today.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And it's funny how you can check, and this might not be the right thing to do with what you said, Katie, about the colour palette that suits us and things. But for years, most of my life, I've said I don't, in terms of the colours that I would or wouldn't wear, I've said I don't like green. I don't wear green. I don't have any green in my wardrobe. But in recent years, I've seen something green in the shop and I've gone, let me see what green. and I try it on and go, you know what? I look all right in green.
Yes.
And I've got quite a few green tops. I've got a green dress, and I always get compliments when I wear green, which is really funny.
Maybe it's as you've grown a bit older as well, the way that you carry yourself and
complexion,
even your hair colour or whatever. I think it's an interesting one. I remember back in the day I had some sort of wardrobe makeover, and they put out all the stuff on my bed and was like, how old are you? Like, oh my God, it's like grey, black, brown, grey, black, brown, black, 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 black. You know, and I was like, oh God, yeah. And then so she sent me out to buy colourful things, and then I've just fallen back into my bad old ways.
I've got the opposite problem. My wardrobe's too colourful, and I can't really find two pieces to match each other often.
Oh, it's great. I think it's good that we're all different, isn't it?
Yes.
We can sort of learn a lot from each other. But yeah, I love colour more and more. My wardrobe used to be not as much as 75% black, definitely not, but certainly over 50% black.
I can't imagine you being like that.
No,
knowing you now.
No, but I'm not now. I still have, I have black trousers that I wear a lot. I do have some nice black tops that I wear a lot. I do have a few black dresses, but I have loads of colour as well. I think if I had to pick one colour that I have never and would never wear, I say never say never, orange. I'm not an orange person.
Orange and yellow with a kind of, we've got a similar kind of skin tone, and it does not work. It makes us jaundice.
I don't think orange works in most of the palettes. I think it only works for autumn.
I can see you in orange, definitely.
Yes, I think I'm okay in orange.
Yeah.
But I think the complements thing is a big thing, because I think the colours that suit me the best are the colours I've got complements in.
Right.
Dark green, purple, sort of a dark yellow. That kind of thing, red.
Interesting. Yeah. I love
Not
red.
that anyone can see us right now.
No.
But they know what you look like, obviously, Hannah.
We all look great, just to let them know.
We've got great faces for radio today.
Yes, definitely. But I have to say, I love a man in colour.
Do you?
I love a man in a red shirt.
And is your husband a man in colour? I think he probably is.
Yes. I mean, not a lot. He does have some black, and he wears a lot of blue, I suppose. But yes, I do like buying him a red T-shirt, or he has got a kind of salmon colour. He doesn't like to say pink.
And then you can spot him in the crowd easily.
Yeah. But I think I like seeing men in colour, definitely.
Oh, that's the way you need. When you have young children, you just put them in fluoro. Just put them in fluoro so you'll never lose them.
Great advice. We better take another break.
TRE, your voice in Spain. Make your money work smarter for you whilst enjoying your new life in the sun. The ultra-low emission zone in the UK has boosted demand for ULEZ compliant vehicles to an unprecedented level. For a limited time, ULEZ Prosperity are offering you a unique opportunity to invest in your own ULEZ compliant vehicle and rent it back to us. Enjoy a fixed rental income from your investment, and after 37 months, we will buy the car back from you at a guaranteed future value. Investors earn 15% per annum on rental income, plus a lump sum payout at the end of the term. Request a full consultation with one of our asset managers at ulezprosperity.com.
Good morning, 007.
Good morning, ma'am.
Will you be there, 007? Where,
ma'am?
At Tickettano Restaurant on 2nd May.
Is that the charity event in support of paediatric palliative care, ma'am?
Yes, 007. It's been arranged by my good friends at the Rotary Club, Marbella Guadalmina.
Can I take a friend?
Take Moneypenny, James. You can both let your hair down. I hear it's going to be a fun night with some great entertainment, and you'll get your favourite cocktail on arrival.
Shaken, not stirred, ma'am?
Absolutely, 007. But be on time, James. Cocktails are at 7:30, and as it's for charity, I think you should invite Moneypenny. It's €125, and €50 of that goes to the charity. It's easy to book. Just click on the Rotary banner on the TRE website.
Yes, ma'am.
Abbeygate, the English insurance broker looking after your health cover needs in Spain. As well as speaking your language, we work with health insurance companies like DKV, Asisa, Liberty, Casa, Helvetia, and many more. This means that at Abbeygate, we're able to offer the very best cover for you and your loved ones. Get a no-obligation quote today at abbeygateinsure.com. Call us on 951 277 455. 951 277 455. Abbeygate, the way insurance should be.
A brand new technology, Ultherapy Prime, is now available exclusively at Clinica Miro Marbella with Dr. Carlos San Martin with over 20 years experience in non-surgical facelifts. Ultherapy Prime is a unique non-invasive lifting with clinical studies. Ultherapy Prime treatment uses time-tested ultrasound technology and real-time imaging to kickstart your body's own collagen production and create a long-lasting lift that is just right for you. Clinica Miro also offers advanced cosmetic medicine and cosmetic complementary medicine using the most advanced technology. Find out more and make your appointment at clinicamiromarbella.com. Celebrate the essence of you.
This is TRE. Welcome to TRE in the Afternoon with Hannah Murray. Proudly sponsored by La Sala Homes, where luxury meets lifestyle in Marbella. Discover more at lasalahomes.com. Hannah Murray. TRE in the Afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Women Talk. With me in the studio is Georgina Shaw and Katie Rowlands. This is an article that I found, which I thought was quite bizarre. When we first meet someone, we can't help but make snap judgments. And there are so many characteristics that help us work out if we like them. Their body language, how they speak, their fashion choices. But for women, there is another trait that is vital in figuring out if they'll get on with someone or not. The person's scent. Women, scientists say, can tell if they're going to be friends with another woman within just 4 minutes of meeting them, and they're guided by smell as much as any other scent.
Wow. Interesting.
I think that sounds a bit ridiculous.
Doesn't it?
Yes. This is, we're not just talking perfume here, are we? We're talking sort
pheromones
of natural.
And I guess. I mean, I don't think I'd notice, but maybe that's the point.
I think it's a subconscious thing. I mean, I didn't know that it was with friends, but I know that in terms of kind of biological, when you're looking for sexual
romantic
partners,
yes.
Because there is a sense of, will you match, will we make beautiful children, essentially is what you're trying to assess.
Yes, because if you don't like their smell, apparently you will not be biologically suitable to mate.
So I've heard that, but I didn't know that it was the same with friends, and it surprises me that it would be more women than men.
Yeah, but to not like someone's scent, the only thing I can equate that to is if you think that they smell. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If either you think, oh, they have a nice perfume, as you say, you recognise their perfume or their aftershave and you like it or dislike it, or they have body odour, which is obviously horrible, whether it's a man or woman, and you might think, not sure I want to hang out with this person much because they smell.
Stink.
Yes.
I don't know how that would work with female relationships. I suppose we'd never know, though, would we?
No.
Because it's not something we do consciously.
No.
But I completely agree with the romantic partner thing. I think I've had one romantic partner in my life and I hated his smell. And that really put me off him.
Oh, definitely. It would.
And I had to ask him, do you wear deodorant? And he said, I sort of wear this natural thing.
It's not working for me, love.
No.
It's a no.
This one or this one?
Me.
Funnily enough, there was an article last week with the headline, "Is it ever okay to tell someone they smell?"
I think it is.
I do think so.
I think it's kind to that other person, because what if they didn't know?
But do you think people ever go, "Oh, really? Thank you so much"?
Not in the first instance, but
Thank you for telling me.
If it's gonna help, I mean, as a mum of a boy moving into this phase, I'm like, oh my God, your feet! Like, you need to know that your feet stink so that you can do something about it.
Right.
And it's me that can tell you that, so someone else doesn't have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is about sort of teaching yourself to look after yourself. And I think sometimes people get to a great old age without perhaps knowing that they need to wash a bit more, or
like using something natural.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help them.
No.
I think if you're discreet, I don't see why you can't tell someone in a quiet and private way.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I get really conscious because maybe I've just exercised for 2 hours after my ideal day.
Yes.
And I sometimes go about and I announce to people, I say, I'm sorry, I'm a bit smelly, because I don't want people to think that I don't know.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
That can be awkward.
That can be awkward. In the summer as well here, when you think, oh my God, I think I really smell, like sort of you're sniffing under your arms a bit like, what can I do?
You need to have a 5-litre bottle of water in the back of your car and then use that as a mini shower.
Yes. Something I came up with last week when we were talking about this actually is if you're with someone who smells and you don't want to say that they do, you can go, oh, what's that smell? Is it me? I'm sorry if it's me. And you smell yourself so they know that you know that there's a smell.
Do you think that they would know, though, if they were actually a stinky person? They might not even notice.
No. Oh, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. Okay, as the story goes, Cinderella has to leave the ball by midnight before the fairy godmother's spell wears off. Now, more than half of British women have the same idea. Research suggests the traditional weekend schedule of pre-drinks at 9 p.m, shots at midnight and crawling into bed at 3 a.m. could become a thing of the past. A study shows that 51% of women who go out drinking say they are home by 12 a.m. 65% actually prefer an evening at home. Are you conscious of time when you go out? Do you kind of think, yeah?
Yes, now I've hit 30. Now I'm 30. I think I'm 31.
Getting old, love.
I know. I just want to be able to thrive most days, and I think having a late night it's not the one for me.
No.
And I think people who are my age and younger are a lot more focused on a balanced lifestyle. I think Gen Zs apparently don't drink very much anymore.
Yeah.
I think since COVID a lot of nightclubs have shut down, and I don't think they're very frequently attended and things like that. So I think lots of things in the environment have changed. And also I saw a video, I think, of Boris Johnson talking about this recently, and I think he blames WhatsApp for people going out less.
Right.
Okay,
let's not argue with Boris.
And then I was trying to read the comments, and lots of people were saying, no, it's not WhatsApp, it's because people can't afford nights out. So I think people can't afford, they want more balanced lifestyles. Nightclubs are more expensive, lots of different reasons, really.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting one. It's obviously, being in Spain,
very
time
different.
has a very different dimension to it.
Yeah.
I did like to go out when I was in the UK, but I did quite like to be home early-ish and, have an earlier night, having already gone after work drinks. I always loved after work drinks, bite to eat, and then home.
Yeah.
But here, nothing starts early. There's not that kind of after work culture. So if you do want to socialise, you end up just being out very late. And
what's your definition of very late?
Well, sort of 2, 3 in the morning.
Yes, that is late. I agree.
Yeah, and I sort of probably past, the
6 a.m.
Yes.
Yes,
My
definitely.
hangovers are too bad these days to do those, but no, I can see that. I can really see the idea of kind of you have your little bit of socialising, then you're in your PJs by midnight.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I prefer a lunchtime thing, to be honest. I like a lunchtime thing.
Yes.
Instead of an evening thing.
Or if I'm going out till 2 a.m, I need at least an hour in bed. Not bed rotting, just napping, really.
Before you go, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love an afternoon nap.
Yes.
Definitely. We better take the last break.
This is Talk Radio Europe.
Online at TRE.radio.
It's so fascinating hearing authors talk about their writing process.
I believe that authors are selected by the characters to write the stories that they want them to tell.
Some authors can struggle with their confidence.
When they sit down to that blank page, can I still do this? Is there another book in me? Will this book be as good as the last book that I wrote?
Join me, Hannah Murray, on The Book Show, Thursdays from 7 p.m, repeated on Saturdays at 8 p.m, to hear all kinds of authors and people in the book trade talking about books and writing.
You write as a writer and you read as a reader.
The multi-award-winning global sensation High Zero has arrived in Spain, the world's first bionic mop. High Zero F500 sweeps, mops and dries all hard floors in one go. With a single charge, you can wirelessly clean for an hour, covering approximately 400 square meters. High Zero separates and contains liquid dirt from solid particles, making it fantastic for allergy sufferers, whilst leaving floors perfectly clean and shiny without the use of chemicals. And thanks to a very quiet operating cleaning system. You can clean without disturbing other household members. For a free demonstration, contact Joanna on 673 650 600 or order online at highzero.es and use the code TRE at checkout for a €50 discount and free delivery.
Do you still have assets in the UK? How effective are they? Book your place at the Blevensrank seminars to learn more. It's a new era in the UK with pension and tax reforms. Our seminars explore the challenges and options for keeping UK assets and other tax, succession and financial planning issues affecting British expatriates. The Blevensrank seminars are in Marbella and La Vinfuela on the 29th and 30th of April. Book your place today on blevensranks.com.
Have you heard an advertisement on TRE but missed the all-important contact details? Looking for a reputable insurance company, financial advisor or health professional? Or maybe you're in business and want to get your name known amongst the expatriate community? Then check out The Marketplace, the online business directory on www.tre.radio. You'll find contact details for a whole host of businesses and services, and you can add your own listing for a very small annual fee. Why The Marketplace? Because we promote it to our listeners every single day. The Marketplace at TRE.radio.
TRE Talk Radio Europe.
You're listening to TRE in the Afternoon with Hannah Murray. Brought to you by the Clubhouse by Sala. Get ready to eat, drink, watch and play at the ultimate sports venue on the coast. Find out more at clubhousemarbella.com. Hannah Murray. TRE in the Afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are listening to the last part of today's Women Talk with me in the studio, Georgina Shaw and Katie Rowlands. This was an article from last week, but it's more for the women to answer, I think. Just a third of young British women want to take their partner's surname when they marry. Almost a third of men, age 18 to 34, said they would feel positively about a man taking their spouse's surname. When asked whether they would actually do so, just 1% of men of all ages said they would be willing to take their spouse's surname. So how do you feel about this? Is it something that you've thought of? Whether it's happened to you or if you think about getting married and, you know.
I love seeing this because I am one of those women who refused to take my husband's name.
Okay.
I just thought, why should I? You're not owning me. We're just choosing to get married.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously my business has my name as well. So that was one element. But it was also like, I don't want to lose my identity. Just because you join together with somebody else doesn't mean you're any less yourself, or it shouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
And then just from the practical, it's so much better. You don't have to change your passport, your bank cards. Nothing has to change.
Yeah.
So, and it was quite good because my husband just said, I said, would you have a problem? Like, do you feel this is me kind of rejecting you? And he said, no, absolutely not. You want to marry me? That's great. That's what I need to know. It's not an ownership agreement.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm very glad that other women are doing it.
Yeah.
But it's very funny, the thing. Yeah, women like the idea of their partners taking their name and the men are like, nah. No.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love my name, my surname, and it has worked out well, me keeping it for work purposes and things. But I was quite excited about becoming a Lopez. I thought that's a great surname to have, particularly being in Spain. But so many people, friends of mine, said to me, oh, I wouldn't bother. The paperwork's a nightmare. So I just went, okay, I won't bother then. So that's it. So that's the only reason, because of the paperwork aspect.
That made up your decision then. Yeah.
Is it something that you think you would like to do?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I think I'm quite far away from marriage.
See what happens. Yeah, but some people are set in their ways about I'm not taking their name, and some are just more relaxed.
I don't think I have an opinion either way. What happens with Spanish people? I think they retain their name, don't they?
Yes, what is lovely is they double barrel it, so that the women's family name doesn't die out. And that's something that I actually was part of that for me as well, because I just thought that's not right that my name has to die, essentially, because I'm an only child. So I thought, no.
That's quite sad thinking of it like that.
Yeah. You know, you have
so
to
well done for keeping that lineage.
And so Lucas is double-barreled, which he thinks is a bit poncy, and he often drops my name anyway. But, you know, it's important to me that he has a bit of my identity as well, and that I'll hold on to that. I think it's a bit of an old-fashioned concept
to take the husband's
husband's name, because, you know, the concept before was your father father passes you on to your husband, and then you change one name for the other.
Tradition, isn't
and you
it?
think, well, hang on, I'm my own person, thank you very much. I don't need my dad's, or I can choose my own way.
What happens if a double-barreled person name marries another double-barreled person to name?
Then they have a silly name.
I don't think you just keep adding.
I know, we were talking about
I don't know the answer. There must be a way.
Who decides as and when which names get dropped as the family gets bigger and bigger and more children? It just had 21 names. Oh, funny. Okay. 8 in 10 children won't eat salad or vegetables. 37% have never even had a beetroot, and 41% have never tasted asparagus. They are missing out.
When I looked at this article, Hannah, I thought, what very middle upper class vegetables these are.
What's wrong with
pomegranate? What was it? Cavolo Nero. I'm thinking, I'm not surprised that a 5-year-old hasn't had Cavolo Nero.
I don't even know what it is.
It's one of those really dark kale cabbage.
Is that something?
Lovely. Yeah.
Is that something you eat every week?
Hell no. But it just really made me laugh. So I'm thinking, okay, I can understand the uproar if they never had a piece of lettuce or like a tomato or a carrot or something. But the sort of pomegranate didn't really worry me.
And beetroot.
Much, yeah.
But mushrooms, I mean, I love mushrooms. Have always been my...
I think we've discussed this before. Absolutely worst vegetable you could possibly find on this earth.
Mushrooms are my favourite food on the planet.
No.
Yes.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Yeah, absolutely. If I was forced with a gun to my head to pick mushrooms over meat, I would pick mushrooms.
Interesting.
Wow, I think it's probably
I love meat.
in my top 3 worst items of food. I'm really sorry.
I understand why children often don't like it. I think it's a textural thing because they are often quite slimy.
I still don't like the texture. Surely you don't grow out of that as an adult, though.
Oh no, definitely. I think you do. I used to think you can do. Some people
Perhaps
do.
you should.
I used to think avocado tastes like soap.
Wow.
But I love it now.
Me
But
too.
I have an auntie who still thinks it tastes like soap.
Yeah.
And she's in her 70s. So
I didn't used to like raw tomatoes. I think it took until my early 20s to start liking raw tomatoes.
Every time I went on a Mediterranean holiday, I tried an olive and I went immediately spat it out until I got to like 18 and went, at last, I understand this taste.
Yeah.
And I think that what I do agree with on that article is if you don't get children to try different tastes, even if, like the olive situation, they're spitting it out, they're never gonna develop into liking more complicated or more challenging foods. And so I do think that while probably most kids aren't sitting down to a plate of Cavolo Nero every day, to encourage to say, okay, what vegetables do you like? Can you keep trying things? Can you, just have a tiny little bit of everything? You're allowed not to like it, but you have to try it. That's what always we've done with our son. Just, you must try it. And you have to have 2 bites of it to just make sure that the first one wasn't just...
That sounds like a good strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's the parents' responsibility to start introducing those fruit and veg early on.
Yeah.
So I've got a friend who just basically eats nothing at all, and I think how sad for her and how bad for her parents, because they never pushed presumably beyond sort of chicken nuggets, and now everything is just kind of bland to the max, and that's sad.
A bit like wearing black.
Yes,
Does she just eat chicken nuggets while she's wearing black in her white car?
Boring.
Oh dear. But I think definitely my taste buds have changed a lot as an adult, and my palate has evolved in a very positive and adult educated way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You'll get there.
Well,
You're only just 30, Katie. There's a long way to go.
I never used to like spice.
I like tomatoes.
Okay.
I love gazpacho.
Nice.
Do you like gazpacho?
Yeah. I never used to like spicy food. I never used to even like pepper on my food. Now I put pepper on my food. I love spicy food. That's one of the big things.
You need to push beyond that spice comfort zone.
Yes,
thing.
exactly. So that's the only way to do it.
You've got the pepper, you've got the colourful foods.
Yeah.
You've got lots
colourful
of
clothes. Whilst doing some squats.
Spice of life.
Whilst doing some body combat, you've got an exciting life.
Life's good. What can I tell you?
Aspirational hair. Aspirational.
Oh dear. Okay, we'll I think end on this one. We've got 3 and a bit minutes. Helping out around the house used to be the key for teaching children the value of hard work, especially when it was rewarded with pocket money. But it appears the art of doing household chores is dying, and it's partly because parents think such efforts amount to child cruelty.
I thought that article was ridiculous because it referenced cleaning a car. Surely, of all the jobs in the world, that's quite a fun one to do.
I love cleaning the car.
Yes.
That's definitely my job.
My mum always said to me that she wished she got us to do more, because I remember being asked to put the washing on the line and I thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I think I was about 15. I thought, oh my goodness, 10 minutes out of my day to put the washing on the line. And my mum's always said she wished we did a bit more. And I think I did get into my early adulthood and I struggled with some of those bits you have to do when you live independently.
It's life skills.
Absolutely.
It's really important. Child cruelty, what a load of rubbish. You do all of those things.
Yes.
I think a family is a team.
Yeah.
If it's working well
Absolutely.
enough. And children will do less than adults, but it shouldn't be like you say, and sometimes the kids are, oh my God, I've got to do everything around it. Okay, let's make a list. My jobs and your jobs, and see who comes up on top.
Definitely. And if kids are used to mum running around after them, clearing up everything, it's a shock suddenly then living on your own, and well, where's my mum gone? You've got to do it all yourself.
And working as a teacher this year, I've introduced something called classroom roles. So they had little jobs around the classroom. So one of them would be a litter picker, one of them would be a whiteboard cleaner, one of them would be a water bottle filler.
Oh, nice.
And one of the rogue jobs was to get rid of a fly from the room.
That's very important.
I love that.
Get that fly away from me.
and they love having that sense of responsibility. Yes. Perhaps when you're in a household with your mum and dad, it's a bit more boring, but it's very necessary.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so often with jobs and how the child reacts, it depends on the child. I'm really embarrassed to say, I don't really remember this, but apparently when I was younger and I'd say I wanted a bike or wanted something, my parents would say, okay, well, how about you do some jobs around the house and we'll pay you for them, and then you can save up. And before long, I'd be like, oh, I don't want the bike now. It was never an incentive. I was like, I'm not that bothered, to be honest.
This is too hard.
How bad is that? Yeah. That's not great.
It is understandable. It is understandable.
A bike's quite a big item to say that for.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of washing up.
Yes.
I was like, I'll just ride my friends. We are less than a minute, so I will say thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you,
done.
Anna.
We did a great job with just 3 of us.
I had a great time, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you both very, very much. And Howard Brereton is coming up next with Spain Today. I'm very excited, by the way. I don't know if you watch Race Across the World. There was a new series last night. I have arranged an interview with Alfie, who was one of the winners of last year, the young lad who lost his mum. Yeah, really exciting. So I'm going to be recording an interview with him on Monday and playing it out hopefully next Thursday. So really looking forward to that. Really exciting. Have a great weekend. Mary Harbo is on tomorrow, so don't forget that. She is standing in for Alan T on the Friday Conversation, so she'll be with you from 2 till 4. Have a great weekend. Howard is next.
Online, on mobile, on the TRE app, your smart speaker and on air. This is TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world.
From the Sky News Centre at 5, Ukraine's foreign ministry says the number of people killed in a Russian airstrike on the capital Kyiv overnight has risen.